Introducing the iQOO Z10. Now, this phone here is considered a mid-range gaming phone because if you already know what this phone is about, then you will know that the specs is actually rather interesting. So I'll just show you real quick here. As you can see, iQOO Z10, the chipset is the Snapdragon 7S Gen 3. So it is not the exact latest. If I'm not mistaken, there is a 7S Gen 4. But that doesn't really matter because this phone is very affordable at only 1,399 ringgit Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, and that is actually very nice in terms of its price. So yes, 7S Gen 3, and this phone will also come with 12 gigs of LPDDR4X, not the latest 5X, but that is okay because it is indeed rather affordable. Battery, yeah, it's amazing. 7,300 mAh battery, and for whatever reason this app can now detect battery throttling. Not really sure how or why, but okay. So I already have VTool scene set up and we can hit into Genshin Impact, and then I can show you some of the special features that the iQOO Z10 has. So first things first, if I swipe in from here, you can see there's a performance panel. So yes, you can change the performance of the phone, as in the power profile. So I will just use it in the monster power profile because I want the highest performance possible. And then the touch sampling rate, doesn't matter, I'm gonna use a controller anyway, so okay. And then when you see below here, you got esports mode that turns on do not disturb and whatnot. So okay, that's something that you can use if you want to. I will enable brightness lock because I don't want the brightness to change. Motion control, I'm not gonna use it because I am again using an external controller, but you can use it if you want. So if you tilt the device one direction, then all of a sudden it will trigger a touch input somewhere on the screen that you want it to do. And then view enhancement, it does change the look of the game a little bit. And then you got game sound effects. Now you can tune it if you want, but I'm not gonna do that. And then bypass charging. Now this is an interesting option. I have my green power bank here. This is the PB720, I think. And if we plug it into a USB PD charger, and then we turn on bypass charging, does it work? Yes, it does. Bypass charging is a feature on, I think, all iQOO devices that we've tested so far. It's amazing. What we are doing here is using all of these settings. It's actually the medium graphical settings, but somehow they recommend you to use the lowest, and I disagree. So we will try these settings to see how things go. And we will just start the recording because why not? I'm not gonna waste my ulti, so just gonna use the S and bounce this thing to death. Kinda like a wombat, right? Yeah, if you didn't know wombats, yeah, they twerk their enemies to death. So that's a animal fact for you guys. Start doing some bullshit again. I would say overall frame rate is actually quite good even with the medium graphical settings.
Stop right there. Hands where I can see. Go in. On my move. Control freezing.
Oh my god.
Justice o'clock. Yeah. Headbutt. Smash down. Yeah.
Yo. What?
Kapow! Justice o'clock. Faster, stronger. Yeah.
One thing I'm curious, will it actually thermal throttle? Because
Drop your weapons. Justice will
the 7 series chipset is a lot more efficient compared to the 8 series because again lower powered, so it might take a longer time to thermal throttle.
It's justice o'clock. Heads up. It's justice o'clock. Right? Smash down. Dip. Headbutt. Right?
Yeah, nice.
Off we go. Stop right there. Hands where I can. Off we go. Teamwork is tricky. Why me? Hi. Yeah. Look out below. Charge. Hi.
By the way, one thing I need to mention, this phone only has a single speaker, which is the bottom firing speaker. So if you're hearing all of the audio coming out only from this side, then now you know why. To collect flowers, I need to change my team again. Where the hell is the flower?
Rise in the sun. Light up the blazing sun.
The heck is this camera angle?
Incinerate. Burn it down. Pyroclastic surge.
So the frame rate here is not particularly the best, 30 something, and I feel that the frame time is not that good. Even though it's 30, it feels like it's like lower. Not sure how to describe it, but yes, something to do with frame times.
Full throttle.
Oh.
Rise in the sun. Great wings echo. Light up a blazing sun. The end of our odyssey.
What the heck is this auto aim? Now they don't use their auto aim. What the heck? Ugh. Ascend. This is a bad set, I guess. Fine, I'll use it for now. So normal attack and also attack percent. Okay, fine. And now we are back here again. Around 30 FPS. What's the temperature like? 40 degrees Celsius. Really low. Consuming only about like 4 watts, which is really low actually. And that might be the absolute limit that the chip can take in, and that's why combined with its efficiency, that is why the what's that again, the 40 degrees Celsius is the maximum it can reach, because you know, whatever power you push in, that's already at its limit. Not the worst frame rate, I would say. Actually looks and plays well. It's just that if you want better, more consistent frame rates, then you have to lower the graphical settings, of course. The render resolution doesn't seem to be the highest as well. As you can see, the ring thing around this Mavuika doesn't look as good. Yeah, overall the performance is, it seems to have already plateaued for Genshin Impact at least. So if you want to play it in medium graphical settings, you're gonna get around like 30-ish FPS, which is quite commendable for a mid-range chipset like this, the 7S Gen 3. And then the temperature, what's the temperature? 41.2 degrees Celsius. It is slowly rising, but yeah, we have not hit the thermal limit yet. I think I'll stay a bit longer to see how things go, if we can hit the thermal limit, of course. I do think that we will, but I'm not sure what's the absolute thermal limit of this phone. Where can I get the phlogiston? There.
To add to my collection.
So I've been in the game for like half an hour right now, and as we can see here, the temperature 41.5 degrees Celsius. That seems to be the highest that it can reach, at least for Genshin Impact, even after like half an hour of gameplay. One thing I would say is that the Snapdragon 7 series is more power efficient, and that is why, even though we are pushing it like quite a lot now, if we're pushing it quite hard, the maximum temperature is 41.5 degrees Celsius. The wattage, it doesn't even hit 4 watts. So yeah, it just seems like the chip is power limited, hence it doesn't hit that high of a temperature, and that is a very common thing to see when the chips go down in terms of performance tiers. So yeah, that's it for Genshin Impact. Now let's move on to the next game, which is much more demanding. For Zenless Zone Zero, what we can do here is I'm gonna use it all in the lowest graphical settings because of how demanding this game is. So let's just see how things go. Now, if you're wondering why this new area here is kind of low in terms of frame rate, well, that is because this area is very demanding even on the highest end smartphone that we have. So it's a game optimization issue for sure. Now let's head to the flower boss. I'm gonna use back the exact same team because we've been doing this for many phones actually, since version 1 I think. Yeah, since version 1.4 is with Miyabi's team. I'll hit record and let's go. I do expect the frame rate to drop quite drastically, but we'll see. Ooh, the frame rate. I hate this boss so much.
My blade is already sheathed. I swear on my blade. Time to heat things up. Isn't it pretty? Press forward.
So far the frame rate has been well, not the best, but also to be expected. Temperature, yeah, 41.5 degrees Celsius seems to be the limit here. Overall power consumption is actually lower than what we had in Genshin Impact. That's kind of funny. That was caused by lag, but it worked out. There we go, done. Overall frame rate is to be expected. It does dip to like a very stuttery frame rate from time to time, but overall I would still say this is decent, acceptable, because that flower boss fight is no joke even on the highest end phone. We get 10 million damage and not 10 million, 100 million damage, which is quite good. Okay, for COD Mobile, we can go for, let me see, we can go for low graphical quality with ultra frame rates. Okay, we'll go with this because frame rate is important for shooter game. Variable ray shading turned off, super resolution is turned on, so we are gonna get the native screen resolution as the render resolution, which is good. And I'm just gonna copy this setting to everything else. And there's this new Gundam thing that I don't really know how to play. Maybe we'll just try. Oh my god, they're even speaking Japanese. Oh my god. I have no idea how to control this. Damage. Controls is quite ass though. Oh, I forgot to record. I mean, we are getting very high frame rates, so no issues there. What? That was bad. I mean, at least we have some mecha battle gameplay mode, but that was bad. Damage. Oh my god. I can't move? Okay. Once you are down, then it's only down to 60 FPS. Okay, I understand that now. Go. The gameplay is so ass though. It looks like some PS2 scrapware kind of game. It's so bad. Anyway, yeah, you can play COD Mobile on the iQOO Z10, no problems at all. Yeah, I'm not even gonna further test this because COD Mobile is another game that's not really that demanding. So in Wuthering Waves, it is recommended to go balance. That's what the game suggests, but I think we will go for performance because Wuthering Waves is quite demanding, but I'll go for 60 FPS, FSR turn on, blah blah blah. Auto FPS turn off. And we'll use these settings. Now let's go. I need to fight this boss. I have not done my weeklies yet. Oh my god. Phase 2. Oh no! Oh, the frame rate is not looking good here. I'm getting a lot of stutters. Look at those stutters. Oh my god. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, that was fast. The lag is really distracting. It's stuttering. The frame rate number here is not indicative of what I'm actually seeing on the screen, because it's like frame skipping on the screen. You know what? I'm not gonna fight the boss right now. I am gonna point out that the frame rate is exceptionally horrible in this boss battle arena, but once we're out here, it surprisingly works a lot better. So I'm not sure what's happening to the game, but yeah, if we're out here flying around, we will fly back to the city, and you can see it's performing real nice. Of course, the frame rate does drop when we're in the city, but nothing stuttery like what we had just now. Just now, that one was atrocious. You know what? Maybe we'll even go to the new area. And how do I get there again? I'm really not familiar with the controls here. Septimon. Yeah, that's what it's called. I'm gonna teleport here, just some random location. Walk around and see how things go. Or maybe fly around, because Wuthering Waves mobility is so much better compared to Genshin. Yeah, you can see the frame rate here is good. See, outside here is okay, it's just that boss battle arena that's super unoptimized, horrible performance. Yeah. Of course, you can see some texture pop in and whatnot, and that's because of the loading speed. It doesn't really affect the FPS, which is actually surprising. What is this? Oh, this is a boss area. Okay, might as well just fight the boss. Hello. Yeah, fighting outside of that particular boss arena is fine. So yeah, that's something to take note of, especially since weekly bosses are important and yet it lags. Ugh. For PUBG Mobile, the graphical settings that we can go is customize, yes, customize, smooth extreme, HDR extreme. It is kind of weird, there's no higher frame rate, so extreme is the only one that we have. Okay, so these are the graphical settings that we are using. I'm gonna download Ultra HDR to see what kind of other settings that we can use. But as of now, I will use HDR Extreme. While it's downloading, I will show you what I mean by this phone only having one bottom firing speaker. Yeah, there is no speaker at the top. Well, there is a loudspeaker for when you're listening to calls, but not using it as a speaker, like loudspeaker kind of speaker. That was a brain fart explanation, but I think you get my idea. So, oh, that is unfortunate, only ultra frame rate. Okay, we will use extreme HDR graphics then. Okay. Wow, the water. It just suddenly pops out. Bro, I need a gun. Yeah, honestly speaking, PUBG Mobile not demanding at all, 60 FPS throughout, very consistent, and even in HDR graphics with 60 FPS it still runs consistently. So this game is really not demanding at all because it is a 720p game. So a lot of phones since many years ago can run this game consistently. So this game is not demanding. It runs really well, so there's that. Yeah, I'll think I'll end the gaming test right here. So, you know, PUBG Mobile, not a problem. It's just missing the higher frame rate settings though. I'm not sure why it is locked at 60 FPS only, because this phone, actually any other modern phones for that matter, can handle this game at 90 FPS, no problems at all. Especially since they force you to go lowest graphical settings. Alright, so we're done with the gaming test. Now take a look at the analysis here. So for Genshin Impact, the render resolution is quite high, 1920 by 867. Average power consumption, really low, 3.57 watts. Only average is 35.5 FPS. And you can see the frame rate is jumping up and down quite a lot. It seems to have hit the performance limit twice. As you can see, this section is exceptionally lower. This section is also lower, and you can see all of the dips to 0 FPS is because I was teleporting Yeah, so overall Genshin Impact, even at the medium graphical settings, I would say it's actually quite good. It's just that you have to know what you're getting. If you want a smoother experience, just lower it to the lower or lowest graphical settings. Remember, low is not exactly the lowest. For Zenless Zone 0, render resolution 1957 by 884, very high. The power consumption is surprisingly low. Average frame rate 26.1, but it doesn't really matter here because you can see the frame rate jumps up and down quite a lot. So here are all of the stats. As you can see, this game in particular is not really utilizing the multi-core configuration that much, and it seems to just park itself in CPU 7, and that is why you only have one core that is at 100% like the entire time. And you can see CPU 7 is maxed out. I think that is the prime core, so it only parks itself in the prime core, and yeah, it uses 100% of it all the time. That is a weird way to utilize the hardware. So I just want to point this out. If the game can utilize its multi-core configuration, then the frame rate will be a lot stabler. Not to say better, just stabler. As for COD Mobile, we are playing the Gundam whatever it is. So you can see the render resolution is at its native resolution of 2400 by 1080 pixels. Average power consumption 3.8 watts. Okay. The frame rate jumps up and down a little bit, not too sure why. And then you can see at the end here it is consistently at 60 FPS, because when you quote-unquote die in the Gundam mode, then it will just render at 60 FPS all the time. And that game mode was really bad. Yeah, and it seems to be a problem with CPU as well. So you can see that when it dips, these two graphs are tying into each other. That's interesting. So again, CPU 7, that is your bottleneck. Yeah, these three graphs are corresponding to each other. For Wuthering Waves, the render resolution 2392 by 1080, really high, and you can see even at the I think this is one tier below the balanced graphical preset. Yeah, 3.71 watts are average, and you can see the frame rate is again all over the place. And I would just have to say, when you are fighting the boss, the dancing boss, I don't know what's it called, the Hecate, yeah, that's when the frame times, like what I mentioned earlier, the frame times is the problem. The FPS number shows that it's like 20 something, but you can feel it stuttering constantly. So this is the reason why. And I'm not too sure why it's causing all of these stutters. As you can see here, the CPU 7 is not at 100% all the time. So it just spikes up and down in terms of the CPU frequency. So maybe the spiking up and down is causing the frame rate to drop. I don't know, but again, it is another problem with the CPU itself. And I have come to the conclusion that the CPU in the 7S Gen 3 is just not good, especially the prime core. It's just not powerful enough to run the games. But if you're just gonna play PUBG Mobile, then it's not a problem at all. So you can see this game is at 1592 by 720 pixels only render resolution. Average power consumption is 3 watts, so the lowest of all. And yeah, average frame rate pretty much consistent at 60 FPS throughout the entire gameplay. So no problems for PUBG. You can see even though CPU 7 did spike up, it doesn't have an effect on the frame rate itself. So yeah, that is all that we have to share about the iQOO Z10. Now this phone, again, it is a budget phone, and surprisingly it can run a lot of games really well. Just that you have to take note of games like Wuthering Waves. You have to turn to the lowest graphical settings to get the best experience possible. But the boss fight will be a bit more problematic. Zenless Zone 0, even at the lowest graphical settings, it will test your patience, but that is kind of a problem with the game itself because it doesn't have any draw distance and whatnot, because it just loads everything in the arena. So when you are in the boss arena itself, that is where most of the lag will happen. Yeah, Genshin Impact ran well. You can even turn on the lowest graphical settings to get better frame rates, so there's that. One thing I have to say is that the Snapdragon 7S Gen 3 inside the iQOO Z10 is power limited. That's why you can see the thermal headroom, even though it's higher, it can only at most reach like 41.5, 42 degrees Celsius at most. And yeah, that is because this chip cannot take any more wattage. So even you have the thermal headroom or the power headroom to push the performance further, yeah, the chip just wouldn't take in more power. It's already at its limit. That is why 7 series of chips from Snapdragon is more quote-unquote power efficient, because it is indeed power limited. So the gaming performance is also going to be limited, but one thing good is that the phone does not feel warm or hot at all. I mean, 42 degrees Celsius is very, very cool to the touch. So yeah, that's it. Interesting phone. If you have any other questions, do leave them down in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.